Our top story is about the American President, Joe Biden. He views the Israeli Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, as a quote-unquote bad guy. We are not the ones saying that. A new book written by American journalist Bob Woodward reportedly reveals how Biden personally views the Israeli Prime Minister and reveals more, that Biden is frustrated with Netanyahu over Israel's war conduct is an open secret. But the fact that the American president detests the Israeli Prime Minister with such passion is definitely news. Even though the U.S. publicly stands by Israel in its war against the Iranian proxies in West Asia, the deepening rift between Biden and Bibi now stands completely exposed. The question is, what does that mean for the war in Gaza? What does this mean for the future of Gaza? Has Biden lost his grip on Israel? Now, here's what we know. The American president's frustration with the Israeli Prime Minister reportedly reached a breaking point this spring. This was reportedly over Netanyahu's conduct in the war between Israel and Hamas. Woodward's book, which is officially out next week, reportedly says that Biden unleashed a profanity-laden rant over Netanyahu when the IDF entered Rafah in May this year. Biden reportedly called Netanyahu a liar, a bad guy, quote-unquote, saying that the Israeli leader had no strategy. In fact, Woodward claims in his book that Biden said he felt Netanyahu had lied to him regularly. He says that Biden even threatened to withhold American weapons after Netanyahu became increasingly threatening over Hamas. In one of the most dramatic parts of the book, Woodward talks about Biden's struggles with Netanyahu amid the war. It seems that behind closed doors, Biden has expressed deep frustration with the Israeli Prime Minister's handling of the war. Now, this is significant. You see, Biden has publicly voiced support for Israel, even if it meant facing international criticism over Israeli actions in Gaza. Israel, remember, is facing international censure for continuing to bombard the Gaza Strip and killing over 41,000 Palestinians in the process. And as a result, analysts, academicians, media have also slammed Washington for supporting Israel. According to Woodward's book, Biden did not keep his frustrations with Netanyahu to himself. Some of the scolding reportedly happened man to man. In April, Biden reportedly slammed Netanyahu over a phone call, telling him, quote, "You've got no strategy." And as the war in West Asia escalated, Biden's anger only mounted. In the month of July, after one strike on Hezbollah leaders in Lebanon, according to the book, Biden used an expletive to refer to Bibi's actions. Not just that, Biden reportedly told the Israeli Prime Minister, and I'm quoting here, "You know, the perception of Israel around the world increasingly is that you are a rogue state, a rogue actor," quote unquote. Now, the choice of words for the leader of Israel, who happens to be a key ally of the United States, are among the other shocking details that are emerging as per reports from the Pulitzer Prize winners' books. But one thing here is for sure, the tension between Biden and Netanyahu extended to other regional issues, including Israel's strikes against Iranian targets, and we don't need an insider account to confirm that. Over the course of the conflict in West Asia, we have seen how Netanyahu has time and again ignored American instructions. In April as well, Biden urged Netanyahu to do nothing in response to Iran's missile attacks, but that's advice that the Israeli leader had ultimately ignored. It's a pattern we would see play out through the course of the Gaza war. And it was very evident that Biden had lost the grip over its biggest ally in West Asia. And it was clear that Israel under Netanyahu was only interested in American aid and not its opinion in war. The White House has so far declined to confirm whether Biden's comments in the book were accurate, particularly as they related to Netanyahu. But senior Deputy White House Press Secretary Emily Simons told reporters the Biden administration was not going to comment on every anecdote that poured out of books or other reporting. In fact, White House defended Biden's relationship with Israel. Simons said, and I'm quoting here, "The commitment that we have with Israel is ironclad. The relationship between Netanyahu and the president goes back decades. They can have very honest and straightforward conversations with each other, quote unquote. Since Hamas staged an attack on Israel on the 7th of October 2023, triggering a war with Israel, thousands of civilians have died in Gaza. In 1 year, Gaza has been reduced to rubble, with Israel now fighting war on all its fronts. And what's more, a direct confrontation between Israel and Iran also looms large. And Washington worries the Israelis will bomb Iran's nuclear sites. But can they? Will Israel bomb Iran's nuclear facilities? For 22 years, Israeli forces have planned for this moment for them. If they want to attack, the time seems to be ripe. Israel is, after all, preparing for the next round of retaliation for Iran's massive missile strike last week. But just because Israel can does not mean Israel should or that it will. While President Biden has warned Israel against striking nuclear or energy sites, saying that any response should be proportionate to last week's Iranian attack. So while the U.S. has acknowledged that some counterstrike is appropriate, Washington wants to basically avoid any Israeli action that could plunge the region into a full-scale war. Will Netanyahu listen is the question. To stay up to speed with the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.